open finger flutters. I don't know why. I think I've seen other ASMR artists do it. My head is getting cut off because I lowered my camera, but today I want to be talking about books. I started reading books again. I used to read years ago when I was younger, and I read all the time. Side tangent real quick. If you can hear background noise, I'm sorry. I always sit down to film these, and then my family, I live in a family of 5. So there's me, I got 2 sisters, my mom and dad. Everybody decides to make noise. As soon as I sit down, they go in there and they stir stuff. I don't know what they're stirring, but man, is it loud. Anyway, I decided to start reading again because I used to read a lot when I was younger, like a lot. And I gotta get closer because my mic's right here. Can I move it? Okay. I'll put it there. So this is gonna be kind of a relaxed, lo-fi almost type, because if you can hear the background noise, and I can't really film around my family because they're always this loud. I try my best to like cut it out of the other videos I film, but it's kind of difficult too. Sometimes I leave some stuff in. So anyway, what I was gonna say is, I just got back into reading, and I got on like Amazon and like Goodreads and stuff, and I went and I found a bunch of books that I added to my like read list, which is really interesting to me. And then I've been buying them as I like finish one and stuff. But I currently have 2 books in the mail that are supposed to be coming in soon. So when I finish these, I will be reading those books. But these are my books for the month of March, and then any of the other books that I get, I will be for the month of April, because even if I start reading one before, I don't think I'm going to finish this one before Friday, which April 1st is this coming Friday as of me filming this. But I'm going to go in order of how I finished them and kind of share my thoughts about the books. And then in my next video, it'll be for the month of April. So I'll be showing you April's books, and I might tease some of the books in case I already have them available. But I read 4 books this month, or I'm currently reading the last one, so I read 3 books. And I would like to make the note that I just started doing this kind of mid-month. So I read these books in the past, I think I read all 3 of them in I think a couple days, and in the last one, it took like a week to come in, so I just started reading it about 5 days ago. But the first one is Murder in St. Augustine, and this is about the murder of this lady right here. I think this is the lady that was killed, which is awful. Sorry, this is so insensitive. This lady was murdered, and I love true crime stuff. Sometimes I kind of have to get out of it because it's so dark that I just don't want to have to deal with it. But whenever I am in an okay mood, I love reading about true crime and looking it up, watching videos on it. It's just so interesting to me. But this is by Elizabeth Randall, and I heard about this book because of an episode of BuzzFeed Unsolved where they covered this murder. And I live in Florida. I don't live near St. Augustine, but I've been twice. And whenever we were there the last time, it was in August of last year, so 2021, we went to a thrift store, or like a little like vintage, I don't know, it was like a thrift shop kind of, and they had this book, and I bought it because I was like, I have to read this book. I've been wanting to get it anyway, but when I saw it there, I was like, that's cool. Anyway, it's got lots of pictures in it. I won't spoil the book, but like, it's just about this lady was, this is not gonna be PG, but it was censored if you don't want to know what happened to her, but ready? She got like hacked to death with a machete. This is so bad, but I'm laughing because like, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. She got brutally murdered in her front yard, or like on the steps to her house. And they basically did it, but he got off because it was all like circumstantial evidence, kind of. I think that's the word for it. But anyway, it's a really interesting book, and it's pretty obvious to me that the guy who they arrested did the murder. Like, I don't know how he didn't get like put in jail for it. He did get arrested, but he was just not guilty, I guess. But yeah, the weird thing is, like, they owned a little shop, or like, was it a real estate agency or something, on St. George Street, which is, we walked right past it. If anybody that's watching this video has ever been to St. Augustine, they have these like cobblestone streets and then shops, and you can walk down the streets and just go into all the different shops. It's really neat. But we walked right past it, and looking at it, like, there's a photo of the place in this book. I like recognize it because I've walked the streets, but it's not like super memorable. But I do remember, I'm gonna see if I can find a photo of it, seeing the shop and stuff. But anyway, this book was actually really interesting because I knew about the murder, and it was really interesting to dive into like every nook and cranny of it. But yeah, I think they gave this book 4 stars on Goodreads. I'm not really sure, can't remember. But it was super interesting, and I had to stop reading it at one point because it got really dark, and which obviously is about a murder, but like it was like a little too and I had to put it down. And when I put it down, I picked up this other book. Now this is a book that me and my sisters were homeschooled, and I don't remember when this book was released, but my mom bought this book when we were pretty small. When was this book copyrighted? Okay, this is 2013. I kind of thought that that's when my mom probably bought this book, but it's been years. It's been almost 10 years. Are you kidding me? Okay, we've had it for a long time, and it was, my mom wanted me to read it, or wanted all of us to read it as like a part of our homeschooling and stuff, but I never read it. It wasn't that interesting to me back then, but I really like history now. So it is called The Crossing. It's by Jack E. Levine? Not sure. I think it's Levine. But it's just about George Washington crossing the Delaware, and it was super light, and it's a really easy read. Like, there's not a lot of words on each page, but it's something that was refreshing in between reading about a murder. So I read about a murder, and then I read about George Washington. Then I read about a murder, which is technically about murder too, because they kill all the people at the end of the book. It's about the battle where they were crossing the Delaware and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, it was interesting. I had never read like the full story, so it was an interesting read. But yeah, I liked it. It wasn't like anything big, but it was interesting. Anyway, in between reading this one, I read that one, and I was gonna say one more thing about this murder book, is that the ending is like, if you're interested in unsolved crimes and stuff, it's really interesting because it basically shows how like the murder is basically solved, but the guy just didn't get caught. Like, he didn't get convicted, is that the word? He just didn't get charged for the crime. But yeah, I don't know, I found this book really interesting because I was like, I really like true crime, like I said. So especially because I've been to St. Augustine's, I kind of like, I've seen all the places in this book, not all of them, but like, I know what they're talking about sometimes when they mention stuff, which is cool. Yeah, if you're into true crime and you want to read about an unsolved murder, yeah, definitely read this book. I thought it was really interesting. And this author, has written other books, and some of them are about like places up there in that part of Florida, and I'm gonna read those too. I liked her writing. I thought she was a pretty good author, so I'm going to read some more of those. But when I was younger, I used to really like fiction books. Now I'm a lot more into the nonfiction. I don't know why. I just kind of get where like fiction can't really hold. I don't like reading fiction. I want to learn something about something that's happened, or something that's like something I can, read about, that I can like, I want to read something that's not fiction. But anyway, what I was getting at is the next book is fiction, because it's one of the books that I used to read when I was little, and I bought it from eBay because I wanted to collect all of the ones in this series, and I just decided to go ahead and read it. But this Geronimo Stilton is like the main series, I guess, and this is like a special, so it's Thea Stilton and the Dragon's Code. And these books are quite old. I think these were written in the 90s, which is just, oh no, Geronimo Stilton was released in the 90s. This one says it was copyrighted in 2005, and the English translation, which is this book, was copyrighted in 2009. But anyway, I really like these books. I think that they're pretty interesting, and I mean, they're like my childhood books, so I kind of like them just because it's what I grew up reading. But and I have read this one before, but I just decided to reread it because I'm doing a Goodreads like reading challenge too, so I'm trying to read 12 books in the year, and I read 3, but technically I'm on my 4th one, almost done with it. But yeah, that's kind of why I decided to pick this up, because I wanted to catch up, because if you do 12 books, then it makes you read 1 book a month, and I was 3 books behind technically, so reading these 3 kind of caught me up. But yeah, it's just about like mice that go on adventures. This is the first one in the series, so this is where they all like kind of become friends, and then they go on adventures after that. If you have like younger kids, and they like adventure stuff, definitely try to get them to read these, because these are my favorite books when I was a kid. And now I still love this series. I read this in like a day, but I thoroughly enjoyed the read. Like, I would read it again, even though it's a children's book. So the last book is the one that I'm currently reading. This is called Beyond, the Mysterious Beyond. I don't think anybody, does anybody get that reference? That is a Land Before Time reference. It says Beyond the Bermuda Triangle. And it also says True Encounters with Electronic Fog, Missing Aircraft, and Time Warps. And it's by Bruce, I think that's Gernon, and Rob McGregor. But anyway, I saw an episode of, me and my sister are obsessed with Expedition Unknown. If anybody watches Discovery Channel, it just seems like an odd thing to really like watching, but I love that show so much. I have seen every episode multiple times. The only show I can say that about. I've seen every single episode multiple times, and it's just a good show. It's funny and it's clean. It's family friendly, if you know what I mean. And there are like jokes, but if you were a young kid, they would probably just go over your head. So it's something that you can like watch with your family. It's on Discovery, so it's obviously on like regular TV. But if you have Discovery Plus, you can just watch them all on there. I don't know how many, the show does well enough for them to keep renewing it, so I know a lot of people like to watch it. But I don't know how many people my age like to watch it. It just seems like a really odd choice for someone who's Gen Z. I don't know. Does anybody relate to that, like, feeling like you're watching something that you shouldn't be watching for your age group, and not in the sense of like that you're too young, just in the sense of like nobody your age would like this sort of thing. I don't know. My sister likes it too, and we're both Gen Z. So, technically. But anyway, I saw this, they did an episode recently, I think it was in 2020, I think, where they did an episode where the guy who wrote this book was on. And, I really enjoyed that episode, and I enjoyed what he had to say, and I thought it was really interesting. So I was like, whenever I had been wanting to buy it since I saw that episode, but I was like, let me buy that book when I started reading. So I'm almost done with it. It is super interesting, and to be honest with you, it was kind of scary because it's like I'm talking about like time travel and stuff like how is it possible with the scientific knowledge that we have today, and stuff about how how a lot of stuff goes missing in the Bermuda Triangle and stuff. So it's all about that kind of stuff, and it talks a lot about like how these things could happen in like our reality and like our like space and time and stuff, and it's just really interesting. So far I really like it. There's a couple points in it that make the guy seem a little bit crazy. Like, no offense to him, he's a great writer, but he just seems a little crazy. But I do thoroughly like the book so far. Anyway, my camera cut off because I ran out of space, but I cleared some up. So what I was gonna say is I really like this book. I really like it so far because of the stories that he tells in this book. So he basically, a bunch of people basically submitted stories of their encounters with the electronic fog that he's talking about, and their stories from the Bermuda Triangle. He talks a lot about UFOs, and there's some stuff about astrology that I'm not on board with. But it's still interesting to hear about, like to read about somebody else's experiences and stuff. So, yeah, it's like I'm still like, I was reading the book and I was like, I'm still gonna read it, even if I don't necessarily agree or believe what he's saying, if you know what I mean, because I want to know. Just because I don't believe it doesn't mean I shouldn't know it, if you know what I mean. That's why I have continued reading this book, even though I don't believe in astrology or UFOs, to be honest. I know a lot of people do believe in aliens, but I'm not like on that train. But there's some really cool pictures in here too. You can see that, but it's like two thunderstorms joining, and like two storm cells joining, and then they make like a tunnel and stuff, and that's like what he basically flew an airplane through. And yeah, it's really interesting. He thinks that he like time traveled kind of basically, or like teleported, because they arrived, and it wasn't just him by himself. If it was just him by himself, you might think, oh, this guy's just imagining stuff or something. But no, there was other people in the plane too that can like account for the stuff he says in this book. So that's one of the reasons why I am interested in it and do kind of like believe what he was saying about his experience and stuff, I think it's just really interesting, and I'm obsessed with like mysteries, like I said, about like that murder, Bermuda Triangle. So interesting. It is terrifying to me because I absolutely hate like the thought of like water and like that kind of stuff, but the Bermuda Triangle was super interesting to me. And they did like a 2-part special on Expedition Unknown about the Bermuda Triangle. And if you guys have like Discovery Channel, you need to watch that episode. Any episodes of Expedition Unknown are great, but definitely watch an episode or two, because definitely watch the episode on the Bermuda Triangle because it was super interesting, and they talked. They did some science experiments and stuff on some things, and I thought it was a really cool episode. But yeah, this is gonna be my last book for the month of March. I have 2 books coming in the mail that I'm going to I got 2 books coming in the mail that I'm going to be reading in April. So that might be, so in April I'll tell you guys about those. I might actually end up buying more, but it's just gonna depend on how soon I finish those, because, I think I have one coming in the mail, like, in a couple days. But I'm not gonna start reading them until I finish this one. But, yeah. So far, I think this book is really interesting, and it's a lot about, like, the unknown and stuff, so, I don't know, it's a pretty good book. That's all I gotta say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see another book club for next month, let me know. And also, let me know if you guys read any of these books that I talked about. I really would love to hear you guys' opinions on them. And, like, what you guys thought, especially if you guys have read the Bermuda Triangle book, or if you guys have had any experiences with, like, UFOs or anything. I would love to hear those. That'd be so cool. Even though I don't believe in it, like, another thing, I don't believe in ghosts, but I love ghost stories. Like, I just love, like, people ghost hunting. It's so fun. I've never done it, but, like, it just seems like it'd be so fun. But if you guys have any spooky stories or anything like UFO encounters or anything weird happening, let me know in the comments. I love spooky stories. I could do a whole episode just reading you guys scary stories. Oh, that'd be so much fun. I feel like I need to get more subscribers for that. When I hit, like, a bunch of subs, when I hit a milestone, I might do a video like that, where it's, like, reading my subscribers' scary stories. I can do it in October. That would be so much fun. Okay, I'm sorry this video is so long. I'm sorry for rambling. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. I hope you guys had a